So I guess how has Flamy affected your hymn?
Yeah, in huge ways. Like I said, I started this as this very private little experience, and it was fascinating how quickly I started wearing makeup to work. Not what we're looking at today, but just, a little eyeshadow, a little liner, some lip color every now and then. And so that was a direct result of playing with drag and realizing that I like this more than just for its ability to entertain or to take a pretty picture for my drag account. Like there's the instincts that young Matthew had playing in his mom's makeup, like those things are still in me and were awakening again after 30 years of being dormant and corked and bottled up. So, I mean, it's a, sorry.
No, I was going to say, you identify as polygender, right? Did that come before Flamy, or did you learn that through Flamy?
That's actually really recent that I've finally kind of found that word and feel like it fits my experience. So Flamy, I would say, is the only reason I have started to explore my own gender identity. We talked about coming out, but for me, that was very much my sexual identity, like identifying as gay. Like that took me a really long time just to get my head around that. And now here I am, 38, and I'm like, oh, like I may not simply be like boy, male, like that. There may be more to me than just that one gender expression that was the one I had to live into growing up, or I would have been, punished, exiled, all kinds of things. So now that I'm at a place where I have the freedom and, suddenly the ability to explore it in new ways because of Flamy, it's like opened the floodgates, and I'm just like, yeah. I've past few months I've been on just a little rampage of absorbing anything I can learn about gender, and I love that term polygender just for the simple fact that I can just, if somebody asks about me, I can just say I'm a lot. I'm just a lot. Multiple, poly just means many. It just means multiple. And that was a thing about me that was always hard for my community to swallow, was that I'm a lot, right? Like,
right.
I think a lot of people are told or the fear that they grow up with is I'm not enough. Right. And mine was the opposite. It was I'm too much and people can't handle me, and I just better tone it all down and turn it down so that I will fit in and not scare people away and not be, just if I want to have friends, I got to tone it down. And if I want to get into heaven, I got to tone it down, and all those things. So it's been wonderful to just like throw on some glitter and then be like, you know what, not enough. It's not enough glitter. I need more. Like, and just go as big as my spirit, has always wanted to, with all of these, the ways to express myself in all these genders. And I just love it. I'm a lot, and I love it.
Right. It's a gift. It's a beautiful thing. And it's a gift from God. Like I don't know, for me, my drag and my transness, I came to hold and awaken via drag as well. So I totally understand that, like, that relationship. And it's like, oh my gosh, this thing has been there the whole time. And I was just too scared. And I wasn't in an environment that allowed me to really like touch that part of me. And so it's been great to kind of find myself in a place in which I can touch those parts of myself. And for me, my like seeking God or seeking some sort of the divine, like I feel like it's the divine in me. Like my drag is an expression of the divine within me. Like it's totally spiritual. That's it. It's just all spiritual. But
I love it. I love it so much. Was it a much later in life experience for you too, discovering that about yourself?
yeah, I just started doing drag about 3 years ago. So it's fairly new. I even actually started interviewing drag artists about their spirituality before I started doing drag. But
Wow.
I had done drag when I was like 20, and I had a really hard time with it because I just was starting to identify as a gay male at that time and coming out. And then I was getting hit on by guys as a guy, but then getting hit on by those same guys as a drag queen. And I couldn't do those things at once because I was like, I'm a dude who likes dudes. I'm not a dude who wants to be a girl or whatever. And so for me, that was my own internalized transphobia that was going on. And at that point in my life, I couldn't be with it. So I had to kind of just get away from it for a while. And I did for almost 20 years. So.
I completely understand. Absolutely. I mean, to my own shame, I used to be the gay guy who would look at the acronym and say, I don't know why the T is with all of the rest of the letter. That's not me. That's not my experience. Like I like what you just said. I'm a dude who wants to be masculine.
Right.
Masculine is right. It's really funny to say when I'm seeing my reflection right now. And I just don't understand what that's all about. And I was internalized homophobia coming out in waves, and I hate that. I was trained to be part of the oppressor, right? Like I was brought up, and all of that instilled in me from the youngest of ages to make it harder for the next person to come out, to be themselves, to be whole. And so that is everything. If I can spend the rest of my life, both trying to undo some of the things I said and have done and believed in the past, but also just going bananas for inclusivity, like that would be a second half of my life well lived, and I will be thrilled.
Right. Well, and you're doing it. And like, I think that the cool thing is you're having an impact on the young people. So maybe they don't have to go through what we went through. Because could you imagine if we would have started this earlier on in life? Look out, world, right?
I've said this so many times. I'm like, I could have been the young drag queen doing splits and death drops, and I could have done all this shit, but now I'm just like my knee hurts, and I'm not
right.
Stand me up in the corner and let me sing, and that will be the extent of what I do for you. But yeah, it's that I think that's another piece of the anger, honestly, for me, is all that was stolen from us, the years that were stolen and not wasted, but we could have had a very different experience had we been in places that the kind of places that we're going to be creating now, right? Like we're going to right those wrongs for as many people as we can in the world. So I love that a 60-second TikTok video from Flamy can do that for somebody. I will, yeah, absolutely.
And like you said, it's so surprising because when I first started doing this too, I was like, nobody's doing this, nobody's talking about this. And then the more I'm out there, I'm like, oh no, there's Miss Pentecost, there's Flamy Grant, there's there's so much going on, which is awesome. Because we can feel like we're just so alone, or we're such mavericks, maybe even.
Yeah.
But it's nice to know that there's so many of us that are in this together.
Yes. It's like how the whole word deconstruction has become this buzzword in the past year. I'm just like, when I started deconstructing, we didn't know, we weren't call it deconstruction. We didn't know what that was.
Right.
I was an apostate. That was what I was. I was leaving the faith. And hi, Bridget. That's my coworker.
Nice.
And yeah, I love that there's so many people who are here doing the work, making the space for people and sharing their stories, because that's what we weren't allowed to do for so long. We just weren't allowed to have a story.
Right. Herdine Katz for you says, let your resentments fuel your art. Right?
Amen.